Dr. Raut, whether the screen is visible?
Visible. Screen is visible.
Okay. Fine. So friends, Dr. Raut has introduced me. I do not need any type of introduction. We are just the friends. And today, mutually, we will discuss that what are the different aspects that a research scholar supposed to keep in his or her mind before doing a piece of research. It may be in education discipline, it may be in social science discipline, or it may be in humanities. So let us go forward. You see, today's discussion point, I've just taken few points that will address our today's discussion. First discussion point is how a research problem is associated with review of literature. Okay, so here you see, you might be asking a question that, sir, today's your session is on review of related literature. Then why have you taken research problem? Deliberately, I have taken research problem. Professor Sanson sir has taken already, stating a research problem, how to select a research problem. But when we talk about review of related literature, then definitely somehow we talk about a problem. Somehow we try to analyze the issues about the problem. That what are the different things, what are the different problems that have already solved basing upon a particular theme, and what has not been done yet. So that's why review of related literature is a very broad aspect. It touches, you can say, most of the aspect of research, starting from conceptualizing a problem. Then after all the stages or all the steps of conducting a research, you will get a trusted information, and you will get certain input, certain understanding when you will go through different studies that have been conducted earlier. So that's why I will start my discussion from a research problem. Then I will link that research problem with the review of related literature. And my second discussion point will be why review of related literature. We'll try to get the answer of this question, that why review of related literature? What is the importance of review of related literature in research? Then further, what is review of related literature? Next, we'll discuss that review of related literature kya hai. Okay? Then further, what are the sources of review of related literature? From where you will get the sources, from where you will get the review of related literature. So what are the different sources that you're supposed to use for going through the review, for analyzing the review, and to reach at your problem, to provide certain newness, to provide certain innovativeness to your own research. Then further, the fifth discussion point will be how to write the review of related literature. Then after understanding, after getting a clear understanding about the concept of review of related literature, its importance, its need, then what is the review of related literature? Further, we'll discuss that how to write the review of related literature with certain examples. So friends, let us go forward to discuss point to point. First of all, to discuss about research problem, I can say that a research problem is a specific issue, unsolved problem, difficulty, contradiction, or gap of knowledge that you want to address in your research. Try to understand a research problem is a specific issue. So what you are doing when you are selecting a research problem, many things you are just considering, many things, many questions. It comes to our mind, to your mind, that what type of problem is a good problem, okay, and how to select a problem, and from where you will get the information, where you will get the knowledge, where you will get a type of understanding that what type of problem you should select. It may be in the discipline of education or different other disciplines of social science or humanities. So many a time what you are doing, you are just asking your supervisor, that's what type of problem I should take for my study. That is not the right approach. Yes, you should take a type of advice and suggestion from the supervisor, but at the same time, I will say that the problem that you are selecting, it should be the researcher's problem. जो problem आप select करते हैं, वो प्रॉब्लम बिल्कुल आपका ही होना चाहिए, because you have to do the research, you have to follow all the steps, you have to involve yourself wholeheartedly for conducting the study. So that's why when we select a problem, definitely that address a specific issue, and that issue may be somehow related with the discipline itself, related with the pedagogy, you can say, related with our societal and community practices. And at the same time, we can say that the problem, it should solve certain difficulties and certain problems that we face in our day-to-day life, in general and in particular, in the aspect, in the context, in the perspectives where we are doing the research. And further, we can say that a research problem is an unsolved problem. That problem has not been solved. So that's why you have selected that problem for conducting a study. If the problem has solved, then there is no need of conducting a study basing upon that problem. Then further, there is still a difficulty. And what problem means? There is a difficulty. There is the existence of a difficulty. And as a researcher, what you are going to do, you are just trying to solve that difficulty. Then it is a type of contradiction, we can say, a research problem. Contradiction means you are taking a research problem because that problem has not solved. Okay, still that problem is existing. That means if few researchers have conducted a study, if you compare the findings of the researchers, you may get that few researchers, the direction of findings of few researchers, it is going in one direction, whereas the findings of other researchers, they are just contradict. So that's why the problem is still exists. So that's why we can say it is a type of contradiction. Then further, a gap of knowledge. Okay, so that's an unsolved problem, and there is a gap of knowledge. That means the problem has not solved. Certain gap is there, and you have to try by conducting your study to bridge that gap. वो जो gap है research का, जो gap है, जो findings है कि unanimous findings नहीं है, commonness findings में नहीं है. So जो gap है, you are just trying to bridge that gap by conducting a new study, by putting certain innovativeness in your study. So that's why, friends, this is a research problem. And further, to go forward, I will just tell you certain points, that is how to select a research problem. As a researcher, when you are selecting a research problem, so what are the different practices that you're supposed to do? First of all, I can say that researchers' own experience. So when you are selecting a problem, so what you are doing, as I have already said, that the problem that you are selecting, it should be you. It should be exclusively the researcher's problem. Okay, so that's why researchers' own experience is somehow related with, linked with, associated with the problem. Many a time, if you ask, if you are a PhD scholar, if you are a faculty, if you ask yourself that when you started conducting research, it may be at your master level or at MPhil or PhD level, then you must have consulted the experts, subject experts at the same time. आपका जो इनर हार्ट है, आपका जो अंडरस्टैंडिंग है, जरूर आप खुद को कुछ प्रश्न पूछे होंगे कि आपका एक्सपीरियंस क्या कहता है? Why have you selected this problem? So that's why research problem is associated with the researcher's own experience. Then further we can say from the professional literature. So friends, I was just talking about, to discuss about a research problem is related with the review of related literature. Here you see from the professional literature, that means when you will go through the reports and the studies that have been conducted earlier, you will go through that what are the recommendations and what are the suggestions that the researcher has given. And when you will go through the recommendations for further studies and the suggestions, you will find that many issues, many fields are still emerged, basing upon which you can conduct a study. So that's a review of related literature. It opens a window for conducting a study, for selecting a problem, for conducting a study. So that's why it is related with the review of related literature. Then further, we can say that observe issues in the society in different contexts and perspectives. So in a very in large scale, you can say that the problem that we are selecting, ultimately, our community, our society, and our, you can say, academic fraternity, they are getting the benefits of it. We are doing it for the knowledge set, for developing certain knowledge, for developing certain principles, certain laws, certain theories, certain concepts. Okay, so that's why the societal needs, it may be related to education, it may be related to other aspects also. So that's why ultimately the observed issues in the society should be addressed in research program. And further, we can say peer and expert interaction definitely you are doing. So being a researcher, being a faculty, when you are conducting a study, you are coming in contact with the peers, you are coming in contact with your colleagues, with your friends. You are just making a discussion with them, academic discussion with them, that what type of problem you should select. Then you are doing a type of brainstorming. If you are a master student, MPhil student, a PhD student, definitely, if you ask yourself that your teacher might have done many brainstorming relating to many research aspects, research topic, research issues, different research things. So brainstorming is also another, you can say, technique that you can select for emerging certain new problem in your mind. Then further, we can say from the process of theorization of knowledge, if you go through the theories which has developed earlier, the theories that we are practicing today, you will find that many such untouched areas you will find where you can say you can conduct a study. But let me to say, friends, the theories, the principles, the knowledge that we are practicing in our academic manifestation, you will find that nothing is permanent. Okay, no knowledge is permanent. Today, a theory we are using, we are practicing, and tomorrow, when the emergence of new knowledge will come, हो सकता है आज का जो theory है कल के लिए वो असत्य हो. ठीक है, so that's why always there should be a window, always there should be certain space, always there should be certain scope for the researcher to understand the theory, to discuss the theory, at the same time to touch the points that has not been conducted here. Then yet. Then further, disciplinary-based innovative practices is also another aspect, that what are the new things that you're supposed to do in a particular discipline. Okay, you are from social science, humanities, and education discipline. So what are the new things so far as pedagogy is concerned, so far as learning approach is concerned, so far as new theories are concerned, so far as science and technology is concerned. So what newness you want to do, you want to contribute for the society, that is also another aspect. Then further, we can say introduction of new and innovative practices in different areas. So when we select a research problem by considering all such aspects, all such issues, let us go forward. Then first, these are the certain sources of selecting a research problem. You can, if you go through different articles of a journal, you will get certain knowledge, certain information, certain ideas, certain understanding to select a problem. Then from PhD thesis is also one source. Encyclopedia is also another source. Web-based information, nowadays you will find much information. You can say ocean of information, ocean of knowledge, if you go through the web-based information. Okay, then for the survey of research in education, theory which is developed. Theory which is developed, courses studied in a program, government policy and report, committee and commissions, the report of different committee and commissions, then general culture and experience, at the same time media. Nowadays we are very well using the multimedia, including the social media. Okay, so that's why to select a problem, somehow you have to involve all such, you have to involve yourself in all such sources. Let us go forward. So again, let me to say that many times certain confusion come to the mind of the researcher, that whether to identify a research problem or whether to select a research problem, whether there are any conceptual difference between these two, identification and selection. But synonymously, we use, many a time we say that identification of a research problem, and many a time we also say the same thing, selection of a research problem. क्या ये दोनों सही है? जहाँ identification लगेगा क्या वही selection लगेगा? Let me to just give few seconds to explain. you see identification जो शब्द है, we cannot use identification for selecting a problem. Rather, you can say identification of area. Areas are heterogeneous in nature. You can say it may be in education and social science. Please, please 1 second. एक फोन आ रहा है. सर मैं सेशन ले रहा हूँ प्लीज ना. कहाँ सर? सर मैं 12 बजे सेशन खत्म होगा, 12:10-15 को होगा. बात कर लिया. Okay. I'm very sorry. एक ऑफिस के फोन आया था. I have to attend that phone anyway. So we use two words, two terms, that is identification and selection. But we use the term identification for identifying the area. That means if I talk about the discipline of education, you will find that many areas are there in the discipline of education. Okay. It may be educational technology, it may be curriculum development, it may be guidance and counseling, it may be assessment and evaluation, okay, it may be distance education, it may be online education. So many areas are there. So what you have to do, the practices of different areas are different. When I talk about educational philosophy, you will find that the concept and perspective of educational philosophy, it is somehow different from educational psychology, somehow different from educational technology. Okay. हाँ ठीक है, ये भी एक दूसरे के साथ किसी ना किसी प्रकार जुड़ा हुआ है, but the natural problem of technology, the natural problem of philosophy, if I'll compare it with psychology, you'll find that there is certain difference and there is certain heterogeneous in nature. So that's why we can identify one area first, because areas are heterogeneous in nature. If we talk about social science, in social science, what are the different aspects from where you have to select a problem? You'll find that the different areas in the study of social science, in the discipline of social science, is also heterogeneous in nature, because the knowledge base, the theories and the concept that you are using in geography, somehow it is different from history, related. It is linked with each other, but different practices are there. And further, to use the word selection of problem, first what you have to do, you have to identify one area. Let you have identified the area of educational technology. Then in educational technology, you will find that many similar types of themes are there. Okay, so when the themes are homogeneous in nature, similar types of themes are there, then what you have to do, you can just select a problem from the homogeneous nature of the problem. So that's why we use the term identification for identifying one area for conducting our study. Then after conducting one area, then we have to go through that. What are the different issues? What are the different problems are there in that area? From there, you can select a problem. So this is the simple difference between identification and selection. But we use synonymously identification and selection. As a researcher, you should understand it. So further, let me to say that a condition of selecting a research problem, from here we'll start the group related. So what are the different conditions of selecting a research problem? So first of all, you see, I have just mentioned here 4 conditions. First condition is if no research has been conducted in an area, if you find that no research has been conducted, okay, then you can say that for filling the gap, there is the need of research. There is a need for conducting the study because no research has been conducted. Let me say one example. Now what we are doing, we are just developing the MOOCs, massive open online courses. I will not say that today we are developing the MOOCs. MOOCs has been developed from last 1 decade, you can say, or from last few years. But in India, we have started it from 2017 onwards. Okay. So we developed and launched many courses under the SWAYAM platform of Ministry of Education. Okay. So here you see from 2017 to 2021, program develop करते हमें 1-1.5 साल लग जाता है. फिर हम लॉन्च करेंगे. लॉन्च करते भी 1 साल लगेगा. और स्टूडेंट जब पास आउट होते हैं सिस्टम से, then after we can conduct this. But what we can say that in India, हो सकता है MOOCs में ज्यादा स्टडी नहीं हुआ है, तो MOOCs में कुछ स्टडी करना जरूरत है. So that's why my first condition is if no research has been conducted, for filling the gap there is the need of research. आपको you are getting certain input that this is one of the very important area that no study has been conducted. So that's why you can select a problem from that area for conducting the study. Then further, the second condition is if few researches have been conducted and there is no uniformity or no commonness between, you can say, the findings of this study. सॉरी ये कुछ यहाँ दब गया है, मुझे ये स्लाइड पूरा नहीं दिख रहा है. This point is if few researches have been conducted, still there is the need of conducting the study. मतलब कुछ गिने चुने कुछ स्टडी का फाइंडिंग्स को लेकर you cannot say that the problem has been solved. Okay, so if limited research has been conducted, still there is the scope for selecting a problem from that area for conducting the study. And the third condition is if large number of researches have been conducted and there is commonness in findings, then there is no need of conducting more research. You see, if large number of studies have been conducted and there is commonness in the findings, there is uniformity in the findings. Matlab, let 500 researchers have conducted conducted study in similar types of problem. And in most of the studies, in almost all the studies, the findings are similar type. Means they all are just agreeing to certain findings, to a particular finding. Then you can say that there is no gap of studying, gap of doing the research. That means the problem is solved, the difficulty is solved. So that's why there is no need of selecting a problem from that area just to do a simple repetition. So you shouldn't select a problem from that area. And further, if large number of research have been conducted and there is inconsistencies of research results, then there is the need of more research. So try to understand. Again, large number of studies have been conducted and the findings that you have received or the findings that you are getting from review of related literature, that there is inconsistencies, means there is no commonness between the findings. Few researchers are agreeing with certain things, certain aspects, whereas the other researchers are just disagreeing it. So that's why there is still, that means you can say the problem is still existing. So that's why you can conduct a study on that problem, though many researchers have been conducted. So friends, here, 4 conditions मैंने आपको बताया. I just illustrated here 4 conditions. And you see, to know about the conditions that whether the problem is still exists or not, you have to just go through different sources for analyzing the studies. So that's why review of related literature is very much important. So this is the window from where what we are doing. We are just going through analyzing the review of related literature. So chaliye, next we will discuss about our today's topic, that is why review of related literature. I have just linked review of related literature with you can say the research problem. First of all, why review of related literature? The first point that I mentioned here, to convey the readers about the work already done and the knowledge and ideas that have been already established in the particular topic and the research. The researcher will get a clear-cut idea that what has already been done. क्या-क्या चीजें हो चुका है और उनको क्या करना है. Unnecessary, it is just simply to avoid the unnecessary repetition. So no need of doing a type of repetition. So that's why you have to convey the researcher about what has already been done and what has not been done, what are the gaps and how to bridge that gap and how your research should bridge that gap. And further, we can say that to provide an insight to the researcher about the process of the result of the study. Okay, so here to provide an insight to the researcher about the process and the result of the study. So what process the researcher he or she is supposed to use. So friends, research is a very systematic and scientific work. This is also, you can say, writing a research is an art as well as a science. So that's why you have to understand very well when you will go through the review of related literature, you will get a type of understanding and knowledge, a type of insight that what processes have been used earlier, what are the steps, what are the methodology, what are the design has been used earlier in the studies, a similar types of studies that has been conducted earlier, and whether that will help you further for, you can say, conceptualizing your problem and conducting your study. Okay, and further we can say another need of review-related literature is to establish gap of research and inconsistencies in a body of knowledge. Gap of research and inconsistencies. I have already discussed when I was talking about research problem. Okay, so when you analyze the review-related literature, you will find that whether the problem has solved or the problem is still existing, so that you can conduct a study. So that's why the inconsistencies in the result you have to, when you will discuss the review-related literature, when you will analyze the review-related literature, you will come out with certain points that these are the things that has been conducted and these are the certain aspects these are not conducted here. So that's why you have to find out the inconsistencies and you have to establish a gap. And further, you have to bridge that gap. Then to identification of the research problem, I have already discussed. Then help to state research questions and objectives. Further, let me say that for stating research questions and objectives. So whether the research question will be established in vague or whether you will state the research question with certain base. Okay, so where you will get that base you will get from the review-related literature. That what are the different research questions that the earlier researchers they have stated, then accordingly how they have stated the objectives basing upon the research questions. So you will also get a type of insight. You will also get a type of understanding about stating the research question and writing the objectives. So friends, let us go forward. Then to talk more about why review-related literature, the importance, the need of review-related literature, we can say to discover unanswered questions in the research. In the research, you have to discover that what are the questions have been solved and what are the questions still exist, which is unanswered by the researcher, and they have recommended in their studies that further you can also conduct such studies to get the answer. So that's why it will help the researcher to discover the unanswered questions in research, so that you can address that unanswered question in your research. Then further, to avoid repetition of an earlier conducted study, I have already said that there is no scope of any repetition in your research, in your study. So that we consider that every research is a new research. How can I say that every research is a new research? Unless we add certain newness, unless we add certain innovativeness, we cannot say that the research is a new research. And हमें बहुत दुख होता है, आप लोग भी शायद इसे फील किए होंगे. Most of the master research को तो हम ऐसे छोड़ भी देते हैं, क्योंकि a student when he or she is doing a master dissertation, तो वो research सीखते हैं, ठीक है. तो उस टाइम में यदि एक existing problem है, उसके ऊपर स्टडी हुआ है, till then उसी प्रकार का एक प्रॉब्लम लेते हैं, तो फिर उसे हम अप्रूव करते हैं, क्योंकि एटलीस्ट the researcher will learn that how to conduct a study. But so far as MPhil, PhD, and other types of project is concerned, I would say that repetition should not be allowed. Somehow the study should be a new study, and that you can do when very well you will analyze the review-related literature. Many times you will find that the learners, they are not analyzing the review-related literature. Many times what they are doing, they are simply writing the review-related literature. क्या study मिला एक chapter में उसे लिख देते हैं. And what cross they are getting, what summary they are getting, they are not doing any type of discussion of the findings of the studies that they have included in their report. Okay, so you have to discuss it, and from the discussion, from the critical analysis, you have to come out with the gaps. So that if you find out the gaps, then definitely you can say that you are not doing a simple repetition work which has already been conducted. Then further, identification of a strong theoretical conceptual framework of research problem. This is also another important aspect. So friends, identification of a strong theoretical conceptual framework. So friends, the variables that we are using in our study, every variable is having certain theory, certain principle, certain practices. Okay, so unless you go through the theoretical construct of the variable क्या कहता है, how one variable is associated with another variable, how one variable helps other variable. You can take the example of intelligence, you can take the example of self-concept, you can take the example of creativity, attitude. So you'll find that somehow many a time the variables, one variable helps others, one variable contribute to other variables. But here, if you will not go through, if you will not study the theoretical construct of the variable, then you cannot conduct a good study. You cannot design a good study because unless you have a good theoretical understanding, theoretical knowledge, you cannot be a good researcher. So that's why the review of related literature, when you go through the review of related literature, definitely you will involve yourself in different theories, different variables. Okay, how these variables are constructed, what are the different aspects of that variable, what are the different components, how the components are related with each other, what are the different items. Means from there also you will get certain vision, certain insight for developing a tool. Okay, so from a variable you will get certain information that for writing item for the tool, what type of items should be there. Okay, discussion करेंगे तो बहुत सारे होगा. Let me to go forward. Then it helps to decide the research method, design sample tools used and techniques of analysis of data. You see, I have just mentioned many points here. Review of related literature will help you to know about research method. What are the specific research method that has been used in a study which has conducted earlier? Why a descriptive study has been conducted? Why a survey method has been used? Why philosophical method has been used? Why correlational method is used? Okay, and whether any other method can be used basing upon the same or basing upon that particular problem. So how you will get it unless you go through, unless you analyze the review of related literature, you cannot get a clear idea about that what research method should be used. Then further we can say the design of the study. If it is an experimental study, or if it is, you can say, type of survey types of research, a type of descriptive survey research, what type of design you have selected, what processes that you have adopted for conducting the study. So that also, that insight you will get from the review of related literature. Then for the sample, how to select a sample, whether by using the probability sampling method you have to select a sample, or by using a non-probability method you have to select a sample. Then further you will also get idea that under this probability sampling technique, whether you have to follow a simple random sampling method or a stratified random sampling method, and you have to justify it. So friends, my request to all of you, if you are a researcher, definitely go through the review of related literature. This is not only to get the result of the studies that have been conducted earlier, that also help you to get understanding about the wholeness of the research, all the aspects of the research that what have been conducted, what are the different steps, what are the different aspects that have been addressed in the study. It may be a research method, it may be a particular research design, it may be idea upon sample and population, and the particular method that has been used for selecting a sample. Then about the tools, whether standardized tools are used or self-made tools are used. Many a time you will find that a study has been conducted by using a standardized tool. I think you know about the concept of a standardized tool. Okay, because reliability, validity norm has been established. Okay, so universally you can use that tool. But whether if a researcher is used a similar types of study, that is your review, has used a standardized tool, but whether any scope is left to use to conduct this study without using a standardized tool, by making a tool as a researcher, by making a tool of your own, so that also you will get an understanding. Okay, then further, but the tool that has been used in the study, that will provide you a type of knowledge, a type of idea that what tool has already used and what tool, what you have to do in your study. Then further, techniques of data analysis. So what are the different statistics that has been used for analyzing the study? If it is a quantitative study, if quantitative data are received by conducting the study, what statistics have been used, whether it is a parametric statistics or non-parametric statistics, and why a parametric statistics have been used, and why a non-parametric statistics have been used. And if it is a qualitative study, how the data have been narrated, how the data have been discussed, and how it has been presented. Okay, so that's why these informations, these insight, this knowledge you will get from report related literature. It will not solve a single purpose, rather it will solve many purposes for conducting study. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Further, again, let me to say, I'm not going detail about it. Dr. Raut has shared a beautiful document to me just before taking this session. I have just taken few contents of the document that Dr. Raut has shared to me. So this is, again, I can say that when you will go through the report related literature, you will get an idea about the design. I have already discussed sampling design, what type of sample, tools and techniques, then procedure required for data collection, how you will collect the data, whether you have to use a type of interview schedule or a type of observation or a type of checklist, a rating scale, a questionnaire, or you can say a sociometric technique, or any type of tool that what you can use for collecting data, then further analysis and interpretation of data, then to establish a gap of the findings. Sampling design, tools, procedure of data collection, at the same time analysis of the data. Gap definitely have to establish. That is the major aspect for conducting the study. Then further, another two important aspect, that is to get an idea how to extract the research article from your study. You have conducted a study. You see earlier, like when you are going through one article which has been, which is published in a reputed journal. When you are going through the article, you'll find that that article may be a product, maybe a summary, maybe abstraction of a large work, of a large PhD or any project. So how a large project, how a PhD thesis, that has been converted in a form of a small article in 10, 12 pages, in 15 pages. So that also you'll get an idea when you go through the report related literature. You'll get an idea that how to prepare or how to make the extract of a research article. एक रिसर्च आपने किया है, वो रिसर्च का एक एक्सट्रैक्ट बनाकर एक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट फॉर्म में कैसे उसे आप बना सकते हैं. फर्दर टू गेट एन आइडिया हाउ टू प्रिपेयर एन एब्स्ट्रैक्ट ऑफ द स्टडी. आपका स्टडी का एक एब्स्ट्रैक्ट कैसा बना, आप देखे होंगे in well reputed journals you will find that in articles first one abstract is given. That abstract is within 100 words or 150 words. You will find that a PhD thesis को, or you can say large work को, within 150 words, the researcher, this is the ability, this is the art of the researcher that this उसका एक abstract बनाया, concise abstract बनाया, taking only 100 and 150 words. So friends, when you will go through the report related literature, you will get an idea about the research article, design of a research article, at the same time preparing an abstract. So these are the certain need, certain importance for report related literature. And for our next point of discussion, that is, what is report related literature? So first of all, report related literature is one of the most important steps of research process. You know, research is a systematic work starting from research problem. Stepwise we proceed. We conceptualize a research problem, we select a research problem, then we go through the theoretical understanding of the variables that we have included in the research problem. Then we do a type of report related literature, and further we take decision about a particular research method that we have to use. That further includes you can say the sample and population tools used, then data collection, data analysis. So these are the certain steps. So that's why this is one of the important aspect or one of the important step for conducting your study. And I would say that report related literature is the first step. Okay. So after selecting a problem, you can say that now I will do the report related literature. But I will say that this is you can say either way related. That means from a research problem to review, from review to research problem. Review भी आपको मदद करता है research problem select करने में. और यदि आप रिसर्च प्रॉब्लम के बारे में एक मन बना लिया कि इसके ऊपर आपने स्टडी करेंगे, Then further, you can also go through the report-related literature. And after selecting a problem, when you are going through the report-related literature, what you are getting, you are just आपका मन बदल जाता है, आपको लगता है कि जो प्रॉब्लम मैंने लिया, वो प्रॉब्लम को थोड़ा सा चेंज भी किया जा सकता है. It is because now you are involving yourself in the process of doing research, understanding the problem, understanding different aspects of the problem, and you are getting a type of understanding that what you have, what decision you have taken earlier, that may not be a right decision. So that scope is always with the researcher. And further, it is an account of what is already known about a particular phenomena. Okay, so in a phenomena, what is already done to understand the phenomena, to understand its theoretical construct, at the same time to understand its practice in the academic manifestation, to understand its practice in a particular discipline for generating, for creating new knowledge. Okay, so that also you will get from report-related literature. Then further we can say report-related literature is a comprehensive summary of previous research on a topic I have already discussed. Then a literature review is a body of text that aims to review the critical points of knowledge on a particular topic of the research. Okay, so what you have to do, this is a body of text that aims to review the critical points of knowledge. So what are the critical aspects of knowledge generation and what are the left out? So that's why you have to do the report-related literature. Let us go forward. So friends, I was just talking about, now we have just conceptualized what is a review and why review. Then further, what are the different sources that you're supposed to use for, you can say, for getting the studies, okay, for getting the report-related literature. You can use two different sources. One is the primary sources. Then further, you can also go through the secondary sources. Primary sources, many a time when you are getting the original documents, you can say, original documents, okay. So let's say type of autobiography, okay. This document, you can say, that is created by the person himself or herself. So from that may be one of the review for your study. And most of the studies or most of the researches that has been conducted earlier and that is published in different forms, it may be in a form of article, it may be a published or unpublished PhD thesis, or it may be a type of, you are getting certain reports from any website, from any national institute, from government report. That can be the secondary sources for getting the report-related literature. And further, we'll discuss about particularly what are the different sources that we use for conducting the study. First of all, the published thesis, the thesis that has been already published. Then further, research journals. You'll find that a list of research journals, you will get it in your library. And nowadays, you'll find that so far as the online research journals are there, particularly in a particular discipline, you can't say that any area is untouched. You'll find that even if you'll find very specific, very unique journal, the theme of the journal that addresses the specific areas of the knowledge. Okay. So earlier we are just talking about the parent, the parent disciplinary knowledge, but now we are talking about the specific disciplinary knowledge. Means from a discipline, how different other disciplines that has been emerged. Okay, how a discipline, how an applied discipline has been emerged from a parent discipline. So that's why you will find that many specific journals, if you go through online journals and the journal house, the international publishers, you will find that many such journals are there, and from there you can find out new studies that has been conducted. And further, websites and encyclopedia. You can go through many websites. It may be Commonwealth of Learning, it may be UNESCO, UNICEF, and other World Bank and other education institutions website. You can say regulatory body website. At the same time, a certain council's website. It may be ICSSR, it may be CSCR, or many other councils. You'll find that many such documents are preserved. So that also help you. That also serves one source for conducting a study. And encyclopedia of special education, encyclopedia of distance education, encyclopedia of open and open educational resources. You will find that specific encyclopedia is there on very unique topic, on very unique theme. That also help you a lot Because when you'll find that when encyclopedia is developed, you'll find that the articles and the writings are mostly research based. So that will help you a lot for getting data, for getting on information and getting knowledge about a particular problem, about a particular theme and issues. Then further government reports and documents, it may be in government website. If you go through the ministry website, you'll find that Right to Education Act document is available. Right to Information Act is available. Child Right Act document is available. And further now the NEP 2020, National Education Policy 2020, which is notified in the month of July 2020. So that document is also available. So friends, the government documents and reports that also help you a lot, or that can also serve as a type of source for review-related literature. And the reports of committees and commissions, you can take the example of University Education Commission, Secondary Education Commission, Kothari Commission, National Policy on Education 1986, then NEP 2020. So you'll find that these documents, these policies will help you a lot. Decades, you can say that has developed decades before. Still then today, you can also use those documents as review-related literature for your study. Then in the conference proceedings, you'll find it is available online, and many a time it is also available offline in your library. Conference proceedings. You'll find that internationally many beautiful conferences are happening every time. Okay, so if you are getting a conference proceedings, you'll find articles that has been written by, you can say, that is written by the scholars across the world. You'll find the articles from Australia, you'll find the articles from practices of USA, practices of UK, Canada, China. So that will help you a lot to conceptualize a problem. And after all, you are conducting a study not simply for an academic purpose, rather that is for knowledge creation purpose. So you should understand that what is the international status, what is the global status of that problem. So that's why conference proceedings, which is conducted across the globe, you should go through it, you should access it. The newspaper, periodicals, or by media, you can say different media. I'm not confining here one media, rather you can say print and non-print media, electronic media, that also you can use. Then books, including the e-books. Nowadays, you will find that e-books are also available, huge e-books. That can also help you a lot. Then we are an internet, open educational resources and internet. These are certain sources that you can use for getting studies for your review-related literature. And let me say, Dr. Raut has given me one document. These are the things included in that document, and I will request Dr. Raut, if it is possible, please share that document to all the participants also. But I find that that's really a very good document. So here, the offline and online sources that you can use for your conducting your for getting the review-related literature. That is, the offline sources are just like a bibliographic guide to educational research. Then UNESCO's current bibliographical resources in education, a guide to resources of educational information, encyclopedia of educational research, I have already mentioned. Review of educational research is also another, you can say, offline source. Then international dissertation abstract, then survey of education, that is by MB Booch. This is available up to 6th survey. Then after it is not available. Then further the online sources, you will get the portion of data and information, portion of study, just like ERIC, okay, Educational Research Information Center, then Google Scholar, then ProQuest, then JSTOR, then Shodhganga. In India, you will find that the studies that are conducted year to year by different universities, now it is available in Shodhganga under Ministry of Education. Okay, so what you can do, you can also go through, you can have a look that what are the studies have been conducted and which is available in Shodhganga. So by using both offline and online, you can go through the review-related literature for your study. So friends, next what we'll do, we'll discuss about how to write the review-related literature. Review-related literature, कैसे लिखें, ठीक है? First of all, search for relevant literature. You have to search. It may be offline or it may be offline. Different sources you have to search, and whatever you have to search, you have to write it. But here, when you are searching for relevant literature, I have mentioned here relevant literature. Unless you evaluate the sources, you can say that this is the relevant literature. Evaluate the sources. Nowadays, so far as the you can say both offline and online, many fraud documents you will get, many malafide documents you will get. So that's why you have to very well acquainted with the documents, with the website, with the encyclopedia, or with the document, whether that document is original or not. So that you can get it from the sources, what sources you are using. Whether it is Commonwealth of Learning, if you are getting it from Commonwealth of Learning, then you can say that definitely that is an authentic source, okay, because it is relevant source, you can say, because in Commonwealth of Learning, without a proper vetting, without a proper quality check, they cannot, they never upload it in their website. So that's why you have to evaluate the sources, whether that source is a genuine source or not. Then further, identify themes and the gap. Then you read out the documents or the study that you received from the sources. Okay, identify the themes. So what are the themes that have been addressed in the studies? And then further, you have to correlate it with your studies. So what are your studies? What are the objectives of your studies? What are the different aspects of your studies? Whether there are any type of linking with your studies, with the objectives of your studies and the objectives of the studies that you have collected, okay, that you have collected from different sources. So that thing you have to identify it, and further you have to read out the entirety of the study to find out the gaps. Then further outline the structure. Then after selecting certain reviews, then how to prepare a structure. कैसे उसे लिखेंगे? Because 200, 300 pages का document है, and if you go through a report, you'll find that many a time the report is in many volumes. The encyclopedia is also in many volumes. It is not possible to go through it. So you have to prepare a structure. Further, we'll discuss that how to prepare it. Then write your literature report. And after structurizing it, after organizing it, so what you have to do, you have to further write the reviews. Okay, उसे बिल्कुल आप लिखेंगे, लिख के फिर उसका एनालिसिस करेंगे. आगे हम डिस्कशन करेंगे. Then under how to write the review of related literature, here you see a good literature review doesn't just summarize the sources, but it analyzes, synthesizes, and critically evaluates to give a clear picture, critically evaluates the problem to give a clear picture of the state of knowledge on the subject, identify the gaps, and provide a direction for the researcher. You see, direction for the research. So when you write the review or a good to whom, if you have considered that this is a good literature, then it should serve. It is not simply to summarize the source. That the report you are just summarizing it, writing it within few lines, within few paragraphs. Rather, you have to analyze, synthesize, and critically evaluate that what has been taught. So unless you evaluate the things, then you cannot reach at the gap. You cannot reach at that really a relevant work has been conducted or not. This is not simply to correlate a type of similar type of studies. So many a time you will find that similar, though the nature of the problem, the study is similar in nature, still then उसका जो quality work है, you are not getting any quality work. Only theme में, problem में, topic में कुछ similarity है, but when you are going through the detail about it, you are not finding it that this is relevant for your study. Nowhere the aspect of your study has been addressed. So many a time you can also get such type of information. Okay, so that's why the state of knowledge, what type of knowledge the earlier study have been addressed, have been included in the studies, and whether that knowledge will help you for your studies, so you have to take a decision for that. Then further, कैसे आप लिखेंगे report related literature, what process and procedures that you have to follow, what directions you have to follow, just like direction to abstracting the literature. Here, मैं आपको कहूँगा जब रिव्यू रिलेटेड लिटरेचर आप लिखते हैं, यदि एक रिव्यू आपको मिल गया, आप एक कार्ड बना लीजिए, ओके, या यदि एक कॉपी आप यूज कर रहे हैं, किसी एक पर्टिकुलर पेज एक रिव्यू के लिए आप यूज करिए, और वो कार्ड में जो information है first authors and year, the name of the author including the surname, then year, in which year the study has been conducted. This is the structure, you can say. Nature and level of the study, whether this is a PhD study or whether this is a type of individual study or this is the type of any master dissertation, MPhil dissertation. Okay, the nature of the study and the level of the study that you have to mention. Then for the title of the research or the book or the report of the study, what is the title of it? If it is a PhD study, what is the title of it? If it is a type of book, or if it is a type of report, or if it is a type of any other types of study, so that also you have to mention. Then objectives and hypothesis. You have to read, you have to go through the objectives and hypothesis, but you may not mention it in your study. Okay, it's good that you are just mentioning the major findings which is related to your study, but definitely go through the objectives and hypothesis, because that will help you for understanding your study in a better way and for stating objectives and stating hypothesis for your study also. What type of hypothesis you have to study, whether it will be a null hypothesis, whether it will be a directional hypothesis, or it will be a non-directional hypothesis. So that will provide you a type of understanding that what type of hypothesis have been stated earlier, and that will be a base for stating your hypothesis. So that's why, if relevant, you mention it, but definitely you go through it. Then for the methodology and the design, if relevant, the particular method that has been used in the study, that also you have to mention, because you will get an idea about the method that has been used earlier. Then major findings related to the present research. So what are the findings? So many a time, my scholars, my students, they usually ask, sir, in a review, I'm just getting in a qualitative study or even in a quantitative study, the findings are written in many pages. So which findings I supposed to write for my study? But here, being a researcher, you should be very much clear that you have to go through the objectives of your study. And the earlier researches that have been conducted, if you consider that that is the best review for your study, you go through the objectives and you will find that what are the objectives which is related with your study and what are the findings of that that objectives. Only those findings you mention, no need of mentioning the other findings. So many a time you will find that from a PhD study, you are just taking only 2 lines, just taking only 2 sentences, just taking only 1 findings. So एक findings के लिए एक study आपको पढ़ना पड़ता है, but exactly you will not get that entirely similarity, entirely similar types of findings you are getting from from your study and the studies that you are analyzing. So that things you have to keep in your mind. Then in note, I have mentioned here a detailed reference of review-related literature has to be given in the reference section of the thesis or the report. So what you have to do here, you are just making a structure, you are writing, you are just reviewing a study which is available earlier, but when you are reviewing it, definitely write the reference, a detailed reference, because when you write the review of related literature, in text, you have to give the reference that may be surname, then year, in which year the study was conducted and who has conducted that study. But at the end of the study or the end of the chapter or in the bibliography section, what you have to give, you have to provide a detailed reference. So that's why name, first name, surname, year, title of the study, name of the journal or the report, including the volume, including the issues and the page number and year of place of publication, that everything you have to give. तो एक कार्ड आप बना लीजिए पोस्टर साइज का जो रिव्यू आपको मिलता है, रिव्यू का बिल्कुल रेफरेंस है, क्लियर रेफरेंस जरूर आप लिख लीजिए. मेनी टाइम ऐसे होता है, रिव्यू तो हम लिख लेते हैं, हम भूल जाते हैं रेफरेंस लिखने के लिए. तो फिर जब बिब्लियोग्राफी लास्ट को हम उसे ऑर्गेनाइज करते हैं. So when you go through for organizing the review of related literature for the reference section, you are not getting it that where you have taken. So that's why be particular, being a researcher, be systematic and do the work in a very particular way. Then further, how to write the review of related literature, complete bibliographic reference is required, just like title of the document or the article. Then source, whether it is from the journal or the report or from any periodicals. from any thesis, maybe MPhil or PhD, or any book. So that you have to mention name of the author, including the first, second, and surname, year of publication, place of the publication if necessary. Place of the publication definitely it is necessary. जो necessary लिखा है इसका अर्थ नहीं है कि आप नहीं लिखेंगे. Place of the publication you have to mention. Volume and number. If it is a journal article, definitely mention the volume and number, issue number, and page number. And many a time in a report you will not find the volume and issue, but if it is an encyclopedia, it may be in many volumes. And page number, definitely mention the page number. So that will authenticate your study. And many a time, if you have taken something from website, from online sources, so definitely the date of retrieve of the site and the detailed web address you have to give. Okay, and that means the information or the knowledge or the documents, the data that you have received from different web-based sources. So that you have to mention, and definitely mention the date, in which date you have retrieved it. As example, how to write the review of related literature, complete bibliographic reference. I have just quoted one here. H.F. Odavsey. This is the first, second name. This is the surname. Then the year 2000. You have to write it as per the APA style. You can find the APA manual. That is a American Psychological Association manual that is available in the website, in the internet. Then accordingly you have to write. Then faculty use of technological resources in Turkey. This is the title. And innovations in education and training international, which is the journal name. Then volume. So here no need of writing the entire volume, only V you can write. Then issues, page number is mentioned here. So accordingly you have to give a clear, a detailed reference of the reviews that you are using for your study. I have here how to write the review of related literature. I have taken one example. Here you see, this is mine. I have given example of mine. And day 2009, it means such type of surname and year, it should come inside the thesis. That means you can say in the chapter, okay, in between the chapter. This is the surname. Then year 2009, conducted a PhD study on study habits of high achieving CBSE and state board students. यहाँ कुछ दब गया है मुझे देखने students of secondary school examination. The study reported that the high achieving students, irrespective of their boards, were very laborious and spending around ये जो दब गया मुझे लगता है 7 to 9 hours a day in studies apart from their regular school hours. Around 75% of high achieving students were participating in private tutorials or coaching. They were spending 2 to 3 hours in their coaching and private tutorials in a day. So here you see, this is a PhD study, this is a huge study, but I have just mentioned only two findings. First of all, you see the surname is there, year is there, and the level of the study, this is a PhD study. The title of the study, I have also mentioned, study habits of high achieving CBSE and state board students in the secondary school examination. I mentioned here. Then the study reported that the high achieving students. इनमें से सिर्फ दो findings मैंने लिया. First of all, the students were very laborious and spending around 7 to 9 hours a day, 7 to 8 hours in a day in studies apart from their regular school hours. ये findings है, and around 75% of high achieving students were participating in private tutorials. ठीक है, private tutorials 75% students participate कर रहे थे, and every day they are spending 2 to 3 hours for attending private coaching and tutorials. But you see, many other findings are also there. But what I find the relevant findings from my study for another study, it may be only 3 points. So that's why I mentioned here only 3 points, not more than that. So accordingly, what you have to do, you have to conceptualize it. You have to concisely, you have to write it, that what are the different information, what are the different findings that I supposed to mention in the reviews. It is not possible to mention all the studies. Then another example, let me to give. Educational institutions managed by the Parsi community in Gujarat and in-depth study. You see, this is the title. This is the title of the study. Educational institutions managed by the Parsi community in Gujarat, an in-depth study. Okay, this is the title. And let me to say, many a time for for using different sources, we use certain keywords. Okay, so what are the different keywords that you can use? Just like from this study, I can say that educational institutions managed by the Parsi community. So Parsi community educational institutions or Parsi community is one keyword. Many a time from web source, if you are just accessing to get the studies, you cannot type the entire title of the study. So you have to find out certain keywords. So if you have developed, if you have written certain article, abstract लिखने के बाद कुछ keywords article का दिया जाता है. So what are these keywords? And further you'll find that keywords will help to you can say find out, to access, to easily get that study. So that's why when you will use when you will search for the review of related literature, you can use certain keywords. Just like if it is study habits related study, you can use the study habits. Then if it is study habits of the secondary students, then study habits of secondary students. If it is related to learning self-concept of secondary students, you can just go through studies related to self-concept. Then further with detailed studies related to self-concept of secondary students. So certain keywords you supposed to follow, supposed to use for getting the exact study of the related study. क्योंकि वेब सोर्स जो है दिस इज जस्ट लाइक ओशन. ऐसे नहीं क्या क्या सब इंफॉर्मेशन आ जाएगा. कोई एक ब्लॉग में कुछ लिख दिया, उसे आप रिव्यू मांगे तो ये नहीं होगा. ब्लॉग राइटिंग इज प्योरली पर्सनल, यू कैन से. Many a time that may be research based or that may not be research based. So for getting exact study, a relevant study, so what you have to do, you have to find out that what are the different keywords of the title that you have selected for your title. What are the keywords of your title of your research problem, and you have to use those keywords. And the title that I was just discussing earlier, the title is Educational Institutions Managed by the Parsi Community in Gujarat, an in-depth study. Basing upon these titles, you'll find that 7 objectives are there. Okay, I'm not going through the detailed objective. I will take another few minutes and I will complete my session. Management structure, this is one objective. Then to study the management structure, then further to study the status and management of human and material resources, to study the strategies of curriculum transaction, including the pedagogy, including the ICT assessment, okay, innovation, sabhi isme included hai. Then achievement level of the students, that is the board exam result of the institutions managed by the Parsi community, then contribution of the alumni, then the involvement and participation of schools and the communities, how schools and communities are associated with the institutions managed by the Parsi community, that is also another objective. Then further, to compare the management structure and status, including the material, human resources, achievement, pedagogy, everything that we have discussed in objective number 1 to 6, that is also to compare between boys and girls and co-education, boys, girls and co-education, and further to compare between the English medium schools and the Gujarati medium schools managed by the Parsi community. So when you will go through the review of related literature, these objectives or these focus points of the objective should be in your mind so that you can get the exact findings of your study. Let us go forward. Keeping in consideration or basing upon the 7 objectives of the study, here you see organization of reviews and different heads, how you can organize the reviews. That means you cannot, मतलब ऐसे on anything आप proceed नहीं कर सकते. Research is a very systematic work. So you have to organize the different aspect of review related literature. Just like keeping in consideration of the 7 objectives of the study, this has been organized, the reviews have been organized in 5 different aspects. First is management and administration. Second is curriculum transaction. Third is use of ICT and innovations. Fourth is the achievement and performance of the students. And the fifth is school community relationship. So now these are the key words, these are the key terms of the institutions of Parsi managed by the Parsi community. If you use these key terms, these key words, you will find the study. And then after you have to prepare, you have to write it in one page, in separate page, what I have already discussed, that how you have to write the review, how you have to prepare the abstract of the review, and further how to write the references. Next, further specification of reviews, how to present it. Here you see point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the 5 abstract that I have prepared a detailed organization of the reviews. It is related to management and administration. It is related to curriculum transaction. It is related to ICT and innovation. And this is related to school achievement and performance. And this is community relation, school community relation. So what you received by using different sources, you got 20 studies. Then here, for giving a clear-cut idea to the readers, what you have to do, you can just present it in a tabular form. So Ismail Patel 2002, then Patrika 2002, accordingly, etc. 20 studies you have to mention according to the years. Means the earlier studies you have to write first, then after the newer studies. यही से आइडिया मिल जाएगा रीडर्स को कि total 111 studies have been analyzed. The reviews, 111 reviews have been analyzed in this study, in this particular study, and that are also organized in 5 different heads, keeping in consideration of the objectives of the study. Just like you see in the second, Umasri and Moragia 1999, then 2000, then Becker, Hanumanthaya 2000, this is also both in the same year. Then Panda, Rathod, this is also in the same year. Accordingly, you have to mention. In first section 20, second section 35 studies, third section 24 studies, fourth section 20 accordingly. Then total 111 studies have been analyzed. The clear idea readers को ये देता है. In this study, 111 studies have been analyzed. This has been organized in different sections. And further, after reviewing a particular section, what you can do, you can just discuss that what are the findings of these 20 studies. Then in the second section, what are the findings of the 35 studies? In the third section, what are the findings of the 24 sections? Then first section-wise discussion you can do, you can write it within one page. Then after what you can do, then you have to summarize of all the 5 sections, and you will come out with certain points, certain gap of the study that basing upon these 5 different sections, such studies have been conducted, such are the different issues that has been addressed earlier, but still many issues are left like this, and that issues will provide you, and that issues will give you a type of insight for, you can say, justifying of your study, for establishing need and justification, the rationality for your study. This is the last slide, presentation and analysis. After a detailed organization of review of related literature, then the further work is the presentation and analysis, presentation of the studies under different subsections. You have to present it. Then critical analysis of the reviews and the light of the findings reported. So you have to evaluate the reviews. You have to analyze it. Okay, critically you have to analyze. You have to discuss it. One section should be there under this chapter of review of related literature that you are discussing now, keeping in consideration of the findings that how many researchers are unanimously agree with a particular findings and how many researchers are just contradicting to their findings. Okay, so that's why you have to find out the gap. You have to establish the gap of the studies by critically analyzing it. And further, bring newness and innovations in your present study. The gap of the study will provide newness and innovativeness to your study. That also further help you to justifying the need and importance of your present study. So friends, this is a simple discussion on review of related literature. For further queries, you can write me niradhar@ignou.ac.in. You can also make me a telephone call. My intercom is 2994. And you can also go through my Facebook page, my YouTube channel, and my Twitter handle. You'll find more than 200 video lessons are there relating to research, relating to other areas of education and social science. And I think that will help you a lot for your studies. Thank you all. I'm just now stop करता हूँ मेरा sharing.
Thank you, Dr. De, for very nice elaborative session. I am not saying it is the compliment received by our young research scholars. They have given many nice compliments to you. Somebody has written this is the best presentation since the day one. And thank you very much for your nice presentations. And I have also received the fair amount of queries from the participants. And one fundamental questions written by one participant, can we say review is the panacea to all problems of research? Answer is absolutely yes. Because Dr. De has discussed many things, and one aspect which he has not just addressed, I will share with you that what we are observing our students at master and MPhil, even at PhD level, they are reviewing the literature to make a chapter. It's okay, you can make a chapter because it will helpful to your followers, yeah, your juniors. They will go through whatever work you have done. But provided that you have not made this review to make a separate chapter, because your review will be mixed from the conceptual background till analysis and interpretation. In every stage, it will give you insight, because our students and many PhD scholars just they are writing an essay about the framework without giving any text citations. So that's why from the very beginning I have told you that the richness of your work will be known only when somebody go through to what extent you have given in-text citations. That will clearly says the message. Another important queries raised by one scholar, can we sir tell us how to write the abstracts? Answer is 3 types. One, you are writing abstract for your MPhil and PhD thesis, or you are writing abstract to send paper to any journals, or you are writing abstract to write a article for yourself. Because you know, when you will send a research article to any publishing house, they have given a box and there is a clear-cut guidelines. Your abstract should within 250 words, 200 words, and if a single word will be more than that, that box will not receive. So at that time, you should first start what is the central concern of your study, then start what are the tools, techniques you have used, 2 sentences, and another 4 or 5 sentences you will dedicate to convey your major findings. And when you are a research scholar at MPhil and PhD level doing abstract, I will suggest you go for lengthy abstract. You write everything. One of the participants raised, shall we write objectives, hypothesis, methods, design, sample? Yes, because that you can organize that review under separate chapter, and it will help to your juniors, other readers who will go through your thesis. They will see what are the works you have studied and what are the methods. It will help to them and besides you. But if you are writing an article at that time, your abstract should be very brief, because that time your concerns what is the findings, right? So in that way, you can extend the already Dr. De has stressed that somebody has taken 5-6 objectives. That doesn't mean you will note down all objectives, only those tools, only those methods and samplings which is related to your area. Need not to be more lengthy. Second thing, while you are organizing the review, that you can do it thematically. Suppose I will say that I will undertake a study, the perception of stakeholders towards choice-based study system in higher education. Here you see, when we analyze the choice-based study system, it has many dimensions, say for its curriculum, its transaction pattern, assessment procedures. So when we will document the review, we will thematically arrange that review. And some other questions that one has raised, I cannot differentiate between primary and secondary sources. Dr. De, just you reflect on it. What are the primary sources? What are the secondary sources?
Okay. Thank you. Dr. Raut has explained very rightly all the queries, the last 3-4 queries. And you see, when I mentioned, these two terms, primary sources and secondary sources for review of related literature, you might be getting confused that this is for data collection. Okay, to collect data by using two sources, primary sources and secondary sources. But many a time, the studies which is available or the reports and the documents which is available, you can also, when you go through it, you can find out whether that is a primary source, that document is prepared, or that document is preserved, that is the original source, from the original source or from the secondary source. Okay, just like I was just talking about the autobiography. You are exactly getting one autobiography. It's written by the person. So that can also, you are doing a type of philosophical study as example. Okay, you are doing a qualitative study. Let you got autobiography of Gandhiji, autobiography of any great personality. So you can say that that is also a review because you have gone through that document and that is from the primary source. But many a time, if the other authors, they have just mentioned about a report, okay, it may be like a report of University Education Commission, report of Secondary Education Commission, that they have analyzed it so far as their insight is concerned, so far as by using a research method, they have just quoted certain aspects from an original source of data. Then you can say that you are getting the information that can be a review, but that is from the secondary source. Okay, but the original source, many a time you can get data from the original source also.
Yeah, thank you. Another one question raised by one participant. Shall I go for a study which has been earlier conducted by somebody else? Answer is certainly no, also yes. It depends. If the study has been taken by a researcher in outside our country, in any abroad areas, at that case, you can contextualize, you can give justification why I'm going to take this study. There you will justify it has been conducted in USA, UK, yeah, China, and our context is a little bit different. At that case, you can go. But if the study has been taken near to your area in India, and if it has been conducted before 20 years, many things has been changed. At that time, you go for conducting that study. So that's why this presentation was made, that how we will identify what are the gap areas. If similar study has been conducted, why you will go for taking that study? Instead, you just, because purpose of studies to add body of knowledge, little bit to world body of knowledge. So your research should be unique and you do accordingly. And then another important, very million-dollar questions that always.
I just mentioned one thing here. I just to add, you see, a study which is conducted abroad in any other country, not in India, but many a time we find that the topic is somehow related with your study. But you see, our education system, our curriculum, every curriculum you can say in any country, that is the reflection of our culture. That is the reflection of our tradition. That is the reflection of our societal practices. So that's why you can say that in the education system, the culture of the country, the society is somehow, it influences the education system. So the problem may be conceptualized keeping in consideration of their context and their perspective. But many a time, our societal practices are different. But we cannot say that exactly it will work in our culture, in our tradition. But many a time, being it is a research now, there is no boundary of the research. You can also take the studies, but definitely quote that study has been conducted for what context and perspective. So that you have to mention. Yes, Dr. Raut.
Yeah, another million-dollar question, and always it is the question of all the novice and beginner researchers. Sir, I am not getting the review. Yeah, I want to conduct a study. There is no review. For your information, it seems that beginners have this type of problems, but as such, it may happen. Sometimes we can go for a study. At that point, we may not get any literature. Say, for example, when Jean Piaget conducted cognitive development theory, developed cognitive development theory. That time he was an associate with Alfred Binet's intelligence organizations, and he was given charge to standardize the intelligence test in France. And when he went to the field and found that question is the same, but why older children are responding this in different to the younger children, and that struck to his mind. That's why he taken a study and observed his own children. After 1.5 years, come out with a thesis that he has given to the world of academia, that is cognitive development theory. So without review, you can also go for study. It is more qualitative study, maybe your phenomenology or grounded theory, so that you can, but always remember that sometimes somewhere you will get the root. Even your discussions with your mentor is a review for you, right? Observation from the informal backgrounds, that setup, that will also give some idea, that you will elaborate what are the conditions forced you to undertake that study. Not necessary review is required for the study. If it is new, then you can do it. I think we have addressed most of the questions raised by the participants, and already Dr. De has given his whole address. And
please tell them that they can write a mail to me, niradhar@igno.ac.in, in case they find any difficult, and definitely they will get a reply of it.
Yeah, and also I will share the PPT, and that will be shared by Dr. De, and I think we have addressed. If any other queries, please just send. We will try to answer it by WhatsApp. I think we will stop here. Thank you, Dr. De. I'm very happy that you have enjoyed. All the participants, they have enjoyed it, given very good remarks and compliments. And thank you once again for your nice elaboration. Very systematically, you have tried to cover all aspects of the reviews. And I hope it may helpful to the young research scholars and some of the faculties, those who are starting their career. Thank you once again, everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Dr. Raut, and all the faculty member of Department of Education, Ravenshaw University, for giving me one opportunity in this platform.